Hello, I'm Jay Kelly. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Canik Magazines. In all honesty, this video may not really be needed as their design is fairly simple. However, I did find them a bit tricky when I was starting out, and perhaps others do as well. There are two basic designs, but in both cases, an internal plate is pressed against the bottom of the base plate by a magazine spring. Tension between these interlocking pieces holds them together and sometimes makes it very awkward to take the magazine apart. The first design is actually quite simple. There's a ledge at the back of the internal plate, and this ledge fits up inside the base plate and prevents the base plate from sliding forward and off. To remove the base plate, all you do is simply press the tab on the internal plate down with a small flat-bedded screwdriver and then slide the base plate over this edge. When you do that, it will then release the base plate from this locking mechanism that is the back of the internal plate, and then just slide the base plate off. The mag components then are released. You've got the basic magazine itself, the empty chamber if you will, the mag spring, the follower that pushes the cartridges up into alignment with the chamber, that internal plate that fits on the end of the mag spring, and then the base plate itself. Now to reassemble, it's very simple. If you look at the follower, there's a flat section on the back and then a rounded section on the front. Insert the follower, press it up and down a couple of times to make sure there's nothing hanging up inside. Take the spring plate as I'm referring to it, make sure that it's lined up so that it's on the last coil of the spring, and press the spring down into the magazine. It doesn't always line up perfectly. Sometimes the loop of the spring will actually be sticking up over the edge of the magazine. And if that's the case, it will not assemble correctly. What you have to do is make sure that that is down inside the magazine, like that. And now you're ready to go. So all you have to do is hold that end plate down and then take your base plate and slide it over the front. There's little tracks there for it to slide on until it covers the start of that internal plate. Then hold the internal plate forward and slide the base plate back, and it'll snap into place. The more modern magazines have a different design. They have a flat internal plate that has a protruding lug that's rectangular in shape that sticks up in the center. The base plate has a corresponding hole, and so when assembled, spring pressure presses the internal plate up and presses that lug into the hole on the base plate. And in that case, it locks it in place and prevents the base plate from sliding off. The technique that I found to be useful is to hold the magazine in my hand pointing to the left, and then take a tool and hold it in my hand and center it over that lug. I'm pressing the lug down below the base plate. Slide the tool forward and you slide the base plate slightly forward. And remove the tool, because the lug that we were talking about is now underneath the back of the base plate. And all you have to do is cover the exposed area with your thumb to prevent anything from flying out, and then just slide the base plate off. And then you can disassemble just as we did previously. Reassembly is very easy. Insert the magazine and follower, make sure there's nothing hanging up. Center the plate and press it below the magazine lips. You want to hold it at the back edge so that it is below the magazine lips. Take the base plate, slide it on the little tracks so that it is covering the front part of that internal plate. Then you can take your fingers out of the way. The the base plate will hold the internal plate in place. And then when you slide it all the way back, the lug will pop up and lock into place. Maintenance. I shoot at a club with sandy bays. After every match and sometimes during them, I take apart my magazines and clean them. This is the brush that I use, but a cleaning cloth will do just as well. So I take my cleaning brush and just run it through a couple of times in either direction, or I'll take a cleaning cloth and insert it and then pull it through. What you're looking to do is just make sure that you get any soot, sand, any objects that are in there that might clog up or cause tension to be on the spring or the follower and stop it from operating in a smooth manner. While the magazine is apart, check for burrs. I found burrs in the metal on this leading edge right here and also on the lips of the magazine. Now when the cartridge is being pushed up by the follower, it presses up against these lips. And when it comes forward, if those burrs on the lips, it can gouge into the metal of the cartridge. The cartridge normally is held in a position that kind of sticks up and is positioned to go into the chamber. They go up, hit the roof of the chamber, and then into the chamber itself. Now, as you get towards the end of the magazine, sometimes the rounds won't be angled up, they'll be angled more straight. And that doesn't really cause a problem, but if it is pressing down a little bit and there's burrs in this area right here, it can catch on the bullet or it can catch on the leading part of the cartridge. So in either case, what I would like to do is take some 400 wet dry sandpaper and just kind of smooth out this area here and the inside edge of these lips. Now you're not trying to change the shape, just remove any burrs or rough spots. Also, you want to check the follower itself. This is made out of plastic, and burrs can come that way from the manufacturer, or they can get scratched or gouged during use. And specifically, you want to check on the back flat edge that's supposed to ride on the back flat edge of the magazine, and also the round edge on the front, and also on the side, on the left side here. Also look around this spot right here. This little bump right here is what shoves up the slide lock when your magazine goes to empty. So you want to make sure that it is smooth on the bottom edge so that there is nothing hanging up the follower as it slides up and down inside the magazine. I bought this mag brush that I used, that I showed you before, earlier, to make the frequent mag cleanings that I use during a match simple. If a magazine ends up in a sand pile, as they frequently do, or the magazine just doesn't seem to be feeding right, or there seems to be any hesitation at all during chambering around, I take it apart, clean it right away, and put it back together. But whatever your approach, keep your magazines dry and clean. And if you do, they should perform flawlessly for thousands and thousands of rounds. Mine have. Hopefully yours will as well. Thanks for watching, and as always, shoot safe.